An open letter addressed to the province of BC's public health officer, health minister, and premier is making its rounds across Canada because it's from a group of frontline healthcare professionals asking hard questions about COVID-19 and how politicians and health lords have been managing it. You're not going to want to miss this report. Drea Humphrey here with Rebel News, and you would think if a group of frontline professionals came together, including doctors from the Okanagan, because they consider themselves to be extremely concerned about COVID-19 and how politicians and public health lords have been addressing it, you would think if they came forward that we would get the information to what the answers are to their concerns from public health officers like Dr. Bonnie Henry or the health minister like Adrian Dix or Premier John Horgan. But that's not what's happening. That's probably because one of the main concern of these frontline health workers is informed consent themselves. The lack of information that they believe Canadians are getting, including children, when it comes to things like COVID-19 inoculations. Now, this group that came together of frontline healthcare workers includes doctors, and they are from the Okanagan. And the one thing they all have in common is that they're scared. Not just scared of the lack of transparency from our government, but scared of what will happen to them should they speak out and voice their concerns, even though they believe it's ethically what they should do and that their information could save lives. This is the state of Canada, thanks to intimidating statements from licensing bodies like this one here. Or thanks to how certain doctors who have spoken out, ones that we have interviewed at rebelnews.com, like Dr. Hoff from BC, or a doctor like Dr. Stephen Malthouse, who you'll actually hear from in this report because he's sort of acting as a spokesperson since he's already been at the front lines of speaking out when it comes to the main narrative of COVID-19. Now, like Dr. Malthouse, him and myself have both spoken to some of the healthcare professionals behind this letter. I wanted to make sure it was, in fact, doctors and nurses and whatever healthcare workers you can imagine. And I have confirmed that. And I have confirmed that there is such a threat about our intelligent frontline workers who I may add have worked directly with COVID-19 patients being scared to speak up. Now, if you don't know anything about Rebel News, you might not know that we don't just fight to bring you the other side of the story. We fight for freedoms in Canada, and that includes fighting against vaccine passports. If you join our concern on the rollout of these, especially in BC, where they give no exemptions for people who've been injured by the first jab, or people who medically can't get the jab, or people who have religious reasons, or just are not ready or not wanting to take it. If you want to join us with our legal challenge against the BC government, as well as other challenges that we're doing for similar mandates, please donate what you can at fightvaccinepassports.com. Not a penny goes to Rebel News. It all goes to the legal fees and the doctors. And we partner with the Democracy Fund, so you also get a charitable receipt. Now, here is Dr. Malthouse. As for the letter and the questions that are on there, I'm going to put that in full at the written report. You can search the title of this video and Rebel News and find it on the written article to read in full because I can't go through it all together. But Dr. Malthouse is going to give some answers to some of the questions or just discuss why they are important to be discussed in the first place. Take a look.
Dr. Malthouse, thank you for being on Rebel News again. This is, I think, our first formal type interview. Usually I catch you on the protests because you are one of the first doctors in BC, maybe even in Canada, to start speaking out against the main narrative when it comes to COVID-19. So it's great to have you on Rebel News again.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, you are not based in the same area where these medical professionals came together and brought this open letter out to Dr. Bonnie Henry, Adrian Dix, and I believe Premier Horgan, correct?
That's correct, yeah. I was asked to consult on the letter and to contribute to a certain extent, but this is coming from the Okanagan, where a lot of healthcare workers, nurses, and others in the hospitals are having their jobs threatened. So they wanted to know what they could do about it. And so I was asked on as a consultant. I suppose you'd look at it that way.
Right. And you're okay showing your face because you've already, had the ruler smacked down on your hand for speaking out, have you not? Do you want to explain a little bit about what you've had to go through, the price you've had to pay for offering informed consent to Canadians?
Well, I haven't really had such a ruler smack as some people have. I'm towards the end of my career, and that puts me in an ideal position to speak out on behalf of patients, because what we're seeing is that informed consent is being thrown to the wayside. People are going out and getting these shots, but aren't even being told that they're.
I don't know what twilight zone this is that never keeps ending, but believe it or not, because you're watching this report on YouTube, it doesn't matter that I am discussing what frontline healthcare workers, including doctors in the Okanagan, have to say about COVID-19, because still we are censored when we bring you such information on this platform. So let's just avoid it altogether. If you want to find the full uncensored report, click in the description. There's a link there for you, or there's another link at the top of the comments section. When you click that, that will take you to the full report at rebelnews.com. I'm Drea Humphrey, and I'll see you when you get there. If you are ready, like us, to act against these vaccine passports, please join us on our fight to do so at fightvaccinepassports.com.